All right, so how about this tonight? Raising questions about the future of the Democratic Party in Florida. The top Democrat there in the state Senate, Jason Pizzo, announcing on the state floor. He went on to the Senate floor there, and he announced he's leaving the party.
Today, I FedExed my voter registration form to change my party affiliation to no party affiliation. And here's the issue. The Democratic Party in Florida is dead.
Democratic departures seem to be a growing trend in that state. For example, in December, 2 state representatives joined the Republican supermajority. But let's look at the national level here for a second. There's a big conversation, right? We saw what happened in November, and Democrats appear to be searching for a new leader, a new identity, how to move forward. The New York Congresswoman, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, possibly seizing on that opportunity. Recently on the road for their Fighting Oligarchy tour, which has generated crowds by the thousands. So what does the future hold here? Joining me now, here on the Hill, his first television interview since going down to the Senate floor and making that announcement, State Senator Jason Pizzo. Nice of you to come on tonight, sir. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me and showing most of the pictures without gray hair.
You lead me into the first thing I was going to say, which is I lived in Florida for about 25 years. I covered state politics there for about 6. Been to Tallahassee, covered it all. You know this, I know this, but I think our viewers should know it. It is one of the wildest political scenes that there is in the state of Florida, right?
Indeed.
Indeed. So I set all that up to wonder, is your criticism on Florida Democrats or the Democratic Party as a whole?
Well, both, but I think mostly on myself for spending so many years raising so many millions of dollars and donating the same to try to artificially resuscitate, a group or a clutch of people that really have no direction and have no purpose on how to solve things with sound policy.
What do you mean by that? I mean, I know you were critical of your party. For example, the State of the Union, you said to the Democrats in Congress who couldn't stand to applaud a 13-year-old boy who survived brain cancer, shame on you. That was obviously the moment from the address with the kid who was given the Secret Service recognition. But what do you mean by what you just said?
Well, I mean, I belong to or have belonged to a party that's far more concerned, I think, at times about pronouns than property insurance. That wastes just so much time and sucks the oxygen and capacity. It's the opportunity cost that's lost by taking the bait on socially divisive issues, which are just simply loud distractions by the other side of the aisle because of their inability as well. They have the capacity, they have the resources, but just the inability that are driven by lobbyists and special interests not to do what's right for folks. My constituents, they want lower property insurance. They want safer streets. They don't want to defund any of the police, and they want to help cops, teachers, and firemen.
So Democrats are saying, and we know this from the polling, Jason, that Democrats want other Democrats to fight, right? And you're doing the opposite. You were saying, I'm out, and I guess sort of moving more to the middle. What do you make of when you see Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, Senator Sanders out there on the road and tens of thousands of people showing up for their crowds on off year?
Sure, and I think the Democrats right now in the country at large, I think, are incredibly thirsty. They're incredibly hungry for something. And if you talk in nice little sound bites, you can grab people's attention. I think the attention span with how much we have available information-wise and with technology is very short. I don't know how any of these plans are paid for, and it's very difficult to do so. So. Listen, yeah, they're capitalizing on it. It sounds great in sound bites, but really, at the end of the day, our super voters on the Democratic side, the 3.7 million NPAs in Florida, and the sort of center leftish Republicans are most especially needing somebody down the center that can get to the people's work.
Are you going to become a Republican?
Listen, I'm not jumping to the Republican side either. The infighting, the power struggles right now in Florida, and I'm sure you've been watching, are crazy. And also, there's a lot of just sort of disingenuous behavior going on. I filed an E-Verify bill that'll actually verify whether or not illegal immigrants are being employed by Florida companies. Florida's law right now only requires a company with 25 or more employees, but 90% of the companies operating in Florida have fewer than 20 employees. So you're not serious about curbing illegal immigration, if you're not serious about verifying people for employment.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.